M-A-T-H. What's that spell? Math! Welcome to another fun week of math with Miss Allen. I'm really excited this week because we are learning all about clocks again. We've been telling time up to the hour, but this week we're going to be doing something totally different. But before we get started, I just wanted us to take 1 second to think about the different parts of a clock. We know that there are hour numbers, there's an hour hand, a minute hand, and there's also something called the clock face. So I want you to think in your brain from the past 2 weeks. Which hand, the long hand or the short hand, is the hour hand? Did you say the short hand? If you said the short hand, ding, 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 you got it right. That means the long hand must be the minute hand. Awesome job. Next, friends, the hour numbers. What part of the clock do you think that is? The numbers. You got it. The big numbers on a clock are the hour numbers because they tell you what hour it is. Last but not least is the clock face. What do you think the clock face is? Just like how your face has your eyes and your nose and your mouth, the clock face is the big inside part of the clock that has the numbers and the hand and the minute hand and the hour hand on top. So this white tannish part on the back, that is called the clock's face. Pretty interesting. So today when we're talking about clocks, it's going to be really important that you're keeping a close eye on the minute hand, the hour hand, and the hour numbers. Over the past 2 weeks, we've been talking about time up to the hour. So if you take a peek at this very first clock all the way on the left, I just want you to think in your brain, what time does this clock show and how do you know? Did you say 5 o'clock? Because it is 5 o'clock. You can tell because the long minute hand is pointing all the way up to the 12. This little notch right here shows that there's 0 minutes in the hour. So the hour hand is pointing at the 5, so you know it's the 5 o'clock hour. The minute hand is pointing up here at the 12, which means 0 minutes. So you know it's 5 o'clock. Great job. Take a peek at the second clock over here. What time does this clock show? 3 o'clock. Very good. The hour hand is pointing at the 3, so we know we are in the 3 o'clock hour. And the minute hand is pointing all the way up to the 12. And this shows that there's 0 minutes so far in the hour, so it's 3 o'clock. Very good. Last one we're going to try just to get our brains warm. What time does this clock show? 10 o'clock. Perfect. Just like we were saying, the hour hand is pointing to the 10, which means we're in the 10 o'clock hour. And the minute hand is pointing straight up to the 12, which means there's 0 minutes in the hour. So it's 10 o'clock. Very good. What's interesting about these 3 clocks is that you can see the hour numbers all the way around. There's the minute hand. Here's the hour hand. The clock face is still there to have all the numbers and the hands on top. But if you look really closely right here at all these little dots, that's interesting. What do you think those little dots are there for? Those little dots, friends, are there to show you how many minutes are in the hour. So we know that the hour hand is pointing, the minute hand is pointing straight up at the 12, which means we're at 0 minutes in the hour. But if the minute hand were to tick over just 1, so it's pointing at this little dot, it would be 10:01 because each little dot on the clock symbolizes 1 minute. Pretty interesting. So today, friends, we are going to be learning something brand new about clocks. But before we start learning about it, I just want you to look really closely at this clock. Look closely at the minute hand. Remember, the minute hand is the really long one. What do you notice about the minute hand? Now I want you to look closely at the hour hand. What do you notice about the hour hand? Something that I noticed is that the minute hand, usually when we're looking at a clock, it's pointing straight up at the 12, which means 0 minutes. But now it's pointing all the way straight down at the 6. So it's pointing down at the 6. Interesting. And I also noticed that the hour hand is not pointing straight at an hour. It's kind of in the middle of 2 hours. Today, friends, we're going to be learning about half an hour. I'm sure you've heard of it. A lot of people can say maybe we're going to lunch in half an hour, or it's time to get on the bus in half an hour. Half an hour is 30 minutes. An entire hour would be 60 minutes, and half an hour is half of that, so it's 30 minutes. Like we were saying, each little knob on the clock stands for 1 minute. So when the minute hand was all the way up to the 12, we were at 0 minutes for the hour. But when it goes tick, 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 all the way around to the 6, half of the hour is gone. So 30 minutes are gone. So when the minute hand turns all the way around the clock, half the hour has gone by. So we call that half an hour. When you see it on a clock, let me get out my pen here so I can show you. When you see that on a clock, we usually say, let's pretend, so it's 12. Then we still do the colon. And usually we would do o'clock if it was pointing straight up at the 12. But it's not pointing straight up at the 12. It's pointing all the way down to the 6. And like we were saying, that means it's half an hour. And half of the hour is 60 minutes, remember, and half of that is 30. So the time on this clock right here would be 12:30. Also, what's tricky is the hour hand isn't pointing straight at the hour. So you need to use your brain to really focus. Think about what hour the hour hand is inside of. So we know that a clock, let's see, I'm going to pull up a clock so we can check it out. We know that a clock has the hour hand right here and the minute hand right here. And we are going to watch this clock go round and round and round to see what happens to the minute hand and the hour hand. I'm going to get us started on 12 o'clock, just for funsies. Now, I'm going to grab the hour hand, and we're going to watch the clock just tick around. Oh, that was the minute hand, silly. Ah! Oh, I got it. So if we move really slowly, you can tell the minute hand moves really quick. Oh, what time is it now? It's 1 o'clock. Now, I want you to watch both hands as we start to move. So if I move the hour hand, the minute hand starts going really fast because minutes go by a lot faster than an hour does. So if we keep going all the way down, there we go, click. Now, just like we were talking about, the minute hand is now down at the 6, which means we have half an hour down. So 30 minutes have already gone by. But take a peek at this hour hand. The hour hand isn't pointing at the 1 anymore, but we are in the 1 o'clock hour. So the hour is this whole entire section between the first number and the next number. So we're still in the 1 o'clock hour. So the time on this clock would be 1, because we're in the 1 o'clock hour, and 30, because 30 minutes have gone by. Let's try another one. Let's watch the hands go by. Woo, woo, woo. The minute hand's going to go really fast because minutes go by faster than the hour. There we go. Let's try to read this clock together. Now I'm going to start with the hour hand. You know, it's not pointing straight at an hour, but we are within an hour. You always read the clock with the hour that comes first. So we're in the 4 o'clock hour, so it's 4. And we will look at the minute hand. 30 minutes have gone by, so it's 4:30 on this clock. Let's try just one more. Let's go all the way right here. Now, this one's going to be a little trickier because it's on the other side of the clock. But if we take a peek at the hour hand and we look, the number it just passed was the 10. And we're not quite at 11 o'clock yet, so it's still 10. And then 30 minutes have gone by because it's to the 6. So 10:30 is what time this clock says. Pretty interesting stuff. This can be a little tricky, friends, but practice makes perfect. Now, we're going to take a peek at these new clocks. They might be repeats of the clocks we were just looking at, but we're going to review one more time before we get started on our workbook page, just to be sure that it's definitely inside of our brains. So to read this clock, like I was saying, you always want to check out what hour we are in. So right here, you can tell that we're in the 4 o'clock hour because the clock was already up at 4 o'clock and half of the hour has gone by. So it's not yet 5 o'clock. We're still in the 4 o'clock hour. So this clock says 4. And if you take a peek at the minute hand, it's down at the 6, which means 30 minutes have gone by, half of the hour. So this clock reads 4:30. Very good. Let's try another one. Alrighty, so we can tell that the clock has already gone past the 7, but it hasn't yet gone past the 8. So we are in the 7 o'clock hour. So this clock is going to read 7. And then we're going to check out the minute hand. Where is the minute hand at? It's on the 6, which means half of the hour has gone by, which means 30 minutes have gone by. This clock reads 7:30. You can tell again because the hour hand is in the 7 o'clock hour. It's already gone past the 7, hasn't yet gone to the 8. 7, and the minute hand is down here at the 30. Awesome. I want you to just think in your brain and try this next one all by yourself. Think about what hour the clock has already gone past. So what hour is our hour hand in? And then check out the minute hand. How many minutes have already gone by in the hour? Did you say that the clock is reading 11:30? Because if you did, awesome job. You got it right. The hour hand is pointing up here to the 11 o'clock hour, and the minute hand is down here pointing at the 6, which means 30 minutes have gone by. So the clock is reading 11:30. Rock stars. Today on your workbook page, I want you to really carefully write your first and last name way at the tippy top. Remember, practice makes perfect, so really try to do your first and your last name and make it look perfect. Next, you are going to use your scissors to cut out each one of these 6 times. They are all reading to the half hour. Next, you are going to take your time to really look at the clock. I want you to pay special attention to what hour that hour hand is inside of. Remember, you're looking at the number that the clock has already gone to, and then you're finding the time. So let's try this first one together. If I take a peek here, I know that the clock was already at the 12, and it hasn't yet reached the 1. So this hour hand is in the 12, and this minute hand is pointing to the 30. So I'll cut out the 12:30, and I'll glue it right here. Try your best to try all 6 of these clocks. Make sure you're paying special attention to the hour hand and glue in each one of these. When you're done, take a picture and send it to your teacher so we know that you tried your best. And then we will see you tomorrow to practice telling time to the half hour again. Practice makes perfect. Challenge that brain. We will see you tomorrow.